My first question, I was reading, and my first question is, I know there's a book in between, but this is more like the, no, like the truth about the Quebec, which is, after that success, after all that happened with that book, how difficult was to put this out for you as a writer?
Well, I'm not sure I make the comparison in my head, which I get that you do, because there were Harry Kubert and then there were the Baltimore Boys and the Baltimore, which was a very different book from Harry Kubert, and I wanted that because it's for me the pleasure is to try to do something different, to try to do something very challenging, and when I worked on this one, I was really into doing something about characters, building the characters and having a book about the people and about the relationship between people. And for me, it was obvious that I wanted to have a story, a strong crime story, to link everything together. But I was not seeing it as a book as similar as Harry Kubert, for instance. And
not similar, but the fact that it's the challenge as a writer when something like that happened.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But I'm going to do another crime story. No.
Yeah, but I lived it very differently because for me it was really something. It was a very different experience as an author. So I was not worrying during the process. I was not worried of the reception or of the comparison.
Okay, I know you say you wanted to build characters here, and maybe when I was reading, I said, oh, these characters, very interesting. I think in the first 20 pages. These very interesting characters all disappear in a way. Yeah. Or they are dead.
Yeah.
No? And no, these characters you just touch for a moment and suddenly they go. No?
Yeah.
And then you build the other characters, no? And then you start building those other characters that start thinking about it and looking for it and asking questions about it. No?
Yeah, I think it shows the process, how I work, and that for me was really something about trying to create a relationship with the characters. And as soon as it was done, I was like, okay, next. And it was a bit of like a game for me also, because it was really like I feel like I'm still really improving my job. I mean, I'm an author, which is now a fact because people say so, but I don't have a diploma. You see what I mean? I don't have a diploma that says that I'm an author because I successfully graduated from an author school. It doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist.
And that's weird, because if you want to be a painter, you can go to an academy, to an art school. If you want to be a lawyer, you can go to a law school. If you want to be a nurse, you can go to a nurse school. If you want to be a journalist, you go to a journalist school. And if you want to be an author, there's no school. But being an author is a job as well.
This is a school.
But this is the best school. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I mean. What I mean is when I go back to my work table and when I'm alone in Geneva, and I'm not thinking of the success and anything else, but just like, what can I improve and how can I improve my work?
What is it about that part of the United States that captures you in a way? The Northeast.
Yeah,
no?
But I'd say not much than the fact that I've lived there and I've experienced so much things there that I feel like I can set the story there and I can tell a story and make it very believable for the readers. And at the same time, it gives me the opportunity, like the freedom of the distance, because I write my books in Geneva, but I set my story in the States. So the first person in the book, or the characters in the book, are far away from me, and I think it helps me, and it provides me the necessary distance to not do something too much in the autofiction process.
And the other thing about distance is that part of the book happens in '94.
Yeah.
No? And there are different times, 94 and 2014, which my guess is that you have to go back and see how was it in 94? And how was the place?
That's a good point, because
things happened, etc., no?
No, I was old enough in 94 to remember the United States at that time. But what is funny is it's more difficult to go back 5 years ago than to go back 20 years ago. Because when you think 5 years ago, or between like 10 and 5 years ago, you were like, but wait, when was the smartphone? Like, when was the first smartphone?
Of course.
When was the time where we used to be able just to say, wait, I don't know that, I'm going to ask Google. And this reflex, was it possible for everybody, I mean, for common people like 5 years ago? Like the data, the using of data everywhere in the world, or at least where you live, and this relationship with the phone, the connection, the interaction, taking pictures all the time. It's we have evolved, if we can say evolved, so quickly in the last 10 years. Like, for instance, the reflex. If we have the reflex now to take picture of everything.
Of everything.
So should you?
That would have been great in '94.
Yeah, but
things would have been different in the book.
Way different.
Exactly.
Sure.
In '94, if
But
somebody would have started.
I will give you an example.
Right there,
I will give you an example in the book where someone is in a dark place. Is he carrying a flashlight, or is he using his phone as a flashlight?
Exactly.
And things have changed very quickly.
Exactly. And that's why you have to be very clear.
Yeah.
How was '94? What was happening? Et
But
cetera,
'94 is easier than 2015, I would say.
Really.
Yeah, for sure.
And the other thing that I liked a lot about the book is how the question. I mean, every crime, no, has a question, no, that a quest, and the question here, it's posed by the woman that disappeared. No?
Yeah.
The mystery.
Yeah.
She actually says, you were wrong, and then we don't know
that's
anything, and that's it.
Yeah.
No. That's why I say that character is fascinating in that sense, because she carries the story in a way.
Absolutely. She's the one that makes the story possible. She's the one that gathers all the people together. She's the one that, I mean, without her, there is no story. And even for myself, she's the one that triggered everything. And she's absolutely, we need her in the story. She's one of the most important characters in the story for the story to be about to exist. But she don't last very much in the book.
Exactly. She's here.
She's here.
She's right here. She's in the first pages, and we are thinking about her all the time.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's it. It's true.
That's exactly.
It's true.
And then these two guys that say, hey, we solved it. We are the 100%, etc., etc. How did you build that guy? No.
Well,
how do you think about that guy? No, 45-year-old. He's retired. No.
Yeah,
he thought he was retiring.
He thought so. Well, it's a guy that wants a fresh start, and to.
But not because he's tired of what he was doing. No, that's not my impression. No, because he's tired. He's like, that's it. No, 45. I've done well. I want to go.
I think he would just want a fresh start. I think he wants to have the opportunity of live another life in his life. And it's true that we have this feeling that the job that we have and that we'll carry on for the most part of our lives will be something that when it's done, it's the end of the biggest part of our lives. And I think that he wants to reinvent himself before that period, before this. He wants to take the opportunity when he's still young to try again. And that's something that I think I would love, and most of the people would love to do that, being able to say, okay, we have more than one life. We can use it more than one lifetime to do more than one career or more than one thing.
After what happened with Quebert, how do you read this market? The Mexican market, the market in Spanish. It treats you very well, no? It's just now you're back here. Well, how is that? How do you see it when you come here and you see that people go and they? I mean,
for me, it's such an overwhelming feeling. It's so amazing, and but it's something that I need to see from my own eyes. And for instance, the very first time I came to Guadalajara, I was like, but why am I coming? Like, no one reads me here. No one knows me, I'm wasting the time of my publishing house and mine as well, because no one will be interested in interviews and no one will be wanted to signing books, whatever. And then I saw people. And then I came again to Latin America, to other places. I went to Colombia. I just was in Buenos Aires, and then back to. So I'm starting to coming more and more, and seeing more people, more interest,
and they relate to you, and they tell you things about your book.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And for me, it tells a lot about the universality and the power of literature, of books. Because here I am, a Swiss guy that writes in French, a novel set in the United States, translated in Spanish, and read by people in Latin America, in Mexico or Colombia or Argentina, and we all connect together, and that's a very strong feeling.
Actually, I hadn't seen it like that. Yeah, this Swiss guy that writes about crime novels that happen in the States, the literature that happens in the States, and then suddenly comes to Guadalajara and something say, "Hey, I'm reading your book," or "I read your book," and go sign, etc. But that's the power of a well-done book that travels, that captures that, no?
Yeah, but I would say, that the power of literature, it's not much about the book and the author, it's much about the reader, because the reader is involved. The reader is the one that will create the book. I mean, this book is nothing else, just paper put together. It will exist as a book as soon as a reader will open it and will picture the story and will imagine with his own image and his own thoughts Stephanie Myler and the crime and the investigation and the character. So the powerful guy with the book, it's not the author, it's the reader. And that's why I guess that there's something very strong, because we have all in common, wherever we are in Switzerland or in France, in the United States or in Mexico or in Argentina or wherever, we have in common a very strong and very powerful that is our experience. And when we came readers and authors all together, we're coming to share this experience, and it's a great moment.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Ahí está. Si usted disfrutó el otro, este lo va a disfrutar muchísimo. Desde la primera página. No se va corriendo, se le va a ir.